Breaking news! We have some behind-the-scenes updates on our team ahead of our matchup against the Packers. Before we dive into all the lineup changes and updates for our big game against the Packers, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you never miss out on the latest Lions news. Trust me, today's news will have you on the edge of your seat. Alright Lions fans, here's what's happening. The Detroit Lions just announced some critical updates that will impact our lineup for Sunday. Rookies Mekhi Wingo and Sione Vaki, both listed as doubtful earlier in the week, have officially been ruled out and will not travel to Green Bay. That's right, our defense will be missing some crucial depth as we prepare for a tough divisional race. Let's start with what happened to Mekhi Wingo. He was initially limited in practice with an ankle injury he suffered on Thursday, and while he worked with trainers on Friday, the team ultimately decided to sit him out. Wingo has been a big part of our defensive rotation recently, filling in on both the inside and outside at the 5 technique position. It's a tough break, as we've really relied on his versatility lately. With Wingo out, the Lions promoted defensive lineman Chris Smith to the 53-man roster, bringing a much-needed boost to the line. Smith is a 316-pound interior force from Notre Dame who only made brief appearances earlier this season but could help stabilize our rotation on Sunday. As for Sione Vaki, he's had an up-and-down week. After sitting out practice on Wednesday with a knee issue, he returned fully on Thursday but was sidelined again on Friday. Vaki hasn't been involved much on offense lately, but he has been making a big impact on special teams. Last week, he was the second highest-rated player on our special teams, just behind Kalif Raymond, according to Pro Football Focus. Losing Vaki means losing one of our top 4-phase special teams players. To help fill that void, the Lions will likely call up undrafted rookie Lorenz Strickland, who is often sidelined on game days but is well-suited to fill in for Vaki on special teams. And the roster tweaks don't stop there. The Lions are moving some pieces around to make sure we're ready for this pivotal game. Let's break down the latest changes. First, we're seeing the release of T. Parker Hesse and the elevation of T. Shane Zylstra from the practice squad for the 3rd consecutive week. This move signals that Zylstra is moving ahead of Hesse on the depth chart. In recent games, Zylstra has shown versatility, even stepping in at fullback when needed, a role we haven't really seen him play in before. Tight ends coach Steve Hayden shared that Zylstra's ability to step in wherever he's needed is exactly what the Lions love about him. Here's the problem, Zylstra has now reached the maximum of 3 practice squad elevations allowed in a season, so if we want him to play beyond this game, the Lions will have to sign him to the active roster. Moving on to the defensive side, we've got Chris Smith and linebacker Abraham Beauplan now on the 53-man roster. Beauplan, who went undrafted this year and spent his preseason with the Vikings, has been biding his time on our practice squad since roster cuts. With injuries piling up in our linebacker unit, Beauplan is primed to make his NFL debut as an emergency option. He ended the preseason strong, and we're excited to see how he'll handle the real deal on Sunday. On top of that, we're elevating Al-Quadin Muhammad, who made a fantastic first impression with 6 pressures in his Lions debut last week while filling in for Josh Paschal. Head coach Dan Campbell couldn't stop praising Muhammad's performance, saying, "He brought his lunch pail and came to work, playing physical and finishing plays." Muhammad's experience in the league brings a solid level of awareness and aggression that fits perfectly with the Lions' style, and we're eager to see him repeat that kind of performance against the Packers. One other note, Muhammad's now used 2 of his 3 practice squad elevations, so we'll need to make a decision soon on how to keep him around as a regular contributor. And as we look beyond this week, Lions fans, there's one more roster situation on the horizon. Jameson Williams will be eligible to return from his suspension after the Packers game, but right now, there's no roster spot open for him. So, expect some additional roster moves early next week as the team makes room to bring him back into the fold. Williams' return could inject a whole new layer of explosive potential into our offense, and the timing couldn't be better with the season heating up. With all these moves, the Lions are clearly showing their commitment to keeping our lineup as strong as possible, even as injuries continue to challenge the roster. We've got depth coming in, young players ready to step up, and a coaching staff that's confident in their next man-up mentality. These adjustments aren't just for filling spots, they're strategic moves aimed at giving us the best chance to take down the Packers. So, Lions fans, let's hear it. How are you feeling about the changes for Sunday's game? Do you think these roster changes will give us the edge we need in Green Bay, or are you worried about the impact of missing key players like Wingo and Vaki? Let us know in the comments below. Now for some interesting news about one of our own, Lions executive John Dorsey, who may be in line to reshape another NFL team if Miami Dolphins owner Stephen Ross is paying attention. So here's the scoop: the Dolphins have struggled to become the true contenders they want to be. While they've made the playoffs 2 years in a row, they seem further away than ever from a Super Bowl run. And the problems run deep. Many fans and analysts think Miami general manager Chris Grier is part of the problem. They're looking for new leadership who can turn things around, and there's a growing sense that John Dorsey may be exactly who the Dolphins need. For those of you who might not know, Dorsey's history speaks volumes about his impact on teams. He joined our Lions back in 2021, and since then, this team has been moving in a direction that's surprising everyone. Our rebuild has shown real results, and Dorsey's fingerprints are all over it. When he joined, we were seen as long shots to break out. Fast forward to now, and Detroit is getting national attention for how well the team is run, with Dorsey's influence as a senior personnel executive playing a major role in this transformation. And don't forget his work with the Kansas City Chiefs. When Dorsey took over as GM there in 2013, the Chiefs were coming off a disastrous 2-win season. Dorsey didn't waste any time. He brought in Andy Reid as head coach, laid down a plan, and the Chiefs went from league bottom dwellers to playoff contenders. During his 5 seasons with Kansas City, they made the playoffs 4 times and set the stage for the Chiefs' eventual Super Bowl success. After Kansas City, Dorsey headed to Cleveland, and though the Browns are notorious for being a difficult franchise, he still managed to shape a roster that included stars like Baker Mayfield, Denzel Ward, and Nick Chubb. He even spent some time consulting for the Philadelphia Eagles before coming over to Detroit. In each role, Dorsey's decisions and vision have made a noticeable impact. Now, Miami is reportedly a team in need of someone just like him. The Dolphins owner, Stephen Ross, is under pressure to make some big changes if he wants to see this team contend. Ross is known for sticking with his decisions, but the buzz is that Dorsey's name is at the top of the list if they're looking for proven experience. Some think Dorsey should have full authority, like he had in Kansas City, with a real say in who coaches the team and how they build their roster. For us Lions fans, there's definitely a bittersweet angle here. Dorsey's presence in Detroit has been felt, and his knowledge and insight have contributed to the progress we're seeing now. Losing him would be a hit to our front office, but it's also a testament to how highly he's regarded around the league. The idea of Dorsey potentially heading to Miami raises some big questions for the Lions too, like how we continue this momentum if he were to leave. So, Lions fans, what do you think? Should Dorsey make the jump to Miami, or should he stay here and continue building something special with us? Do you think he's the key to turning the Dolphins around, or would his influence be better spent helping us chase that playoff run we've all been waiting for? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you stay up to date with all things Lions. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Lions!